11 years of sobriety, almost 12. Now he helps other people. This is the story of Lance. Sober, clean, 11 years, 7 months.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope, open my eyes to see the world through different eyes, revealing your light, restoring hope.
Good afternoon and welcome to a new day, a day that the Lord has brought us, hopefully sober and clean. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and this is RestoringHopeLive.com, a ministry brought to you by Powell CDC, that is Chemical Dependence Centers, here in central Iowa, to help you understand your hurts, habits, and hang-ups. If you are addicted to a substance, if you are involved in any type of anorexia, right?
I'm not paying attention.
Okay, that's fine. Powell can help you. And here's the reason we do this show. You know, if you think Lance wants to sit here and tell you about his life story, well, in a way, he probably does, because he knows by sharing his story, it'll help others. But it's embarrassing. It's hard for me sometimes every Monday. It's hard for Lila, hard for Bob. Well, Bob's a normie. You know, Bob doesn't have any of those issues.
Yep. But I'm pretty boring.
No, you're not boring. I said you're a normie.
Boring, same thing.
But we do this show because you're listening. And you know somebody. Maybe it's your pastor. Maybe it's somebody in your Bible group. Maybe it's somebody in the cubicle next to you at Wells Fargo or Principal Financial. Maybe it's your neighbor. Maybe it's your son. Maybe it's your spouse. And you don't know what to do because they don't think they have a problem. You don't want to believe they have a problem. But everybody else says, I think he has a problem with drugs. I think he has a problem with alcohol. You need to do something about that. Well, first of all, please understand this. There's nothing you can do except maybe just bring him in front of people that know how to treat this. And that's the folks at Powell CDC. Lance works at Powell. Lila works at Powell. I am associated with Powell and Unity Point. For heaven's sakes, you now know 3 people that you can call at the end of this show or right now at 263-2424 that can help you start the process of healing. It has to start somewhere. Now, understand, this person that you're very concerned about, they may not want the help. And quite frankly, until they want it, we can't do anything. I know that's probably startling to you. You think we just drag them in and tie them a rope around the wagon like, you know, John Wayne would, and just let them hang there in the hot sun until they dehydrate and there's no more alcohol or drugs in them, and then you set them free and they go, oh, I'm free of drugs and alcohol. But that's not all how it works. Not at all. The isms continue to thrive within our system, pounding in our head every day that we are good enough or not good enough, that we are powerful or we are powerless, that we are large and in charge or we are small and insecure. It's all the same thing to an alcoholic or an addict. That's why we do the show. That's why we appreciate you listening. You can listen to any previous shows at webcast1live.com. Go to Restoring Hope Live or Recovery Mondays and put them in there and climb them to the top. And you'll see every one of the shows we've done over the last couple of years. Lila, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Big Powell banquet coming up here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, April 18th.
Are they still working your behind off on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great banquet if you haven't signed up for it. You don't have to be an alumni of Powell, although it is called the Alumni Banquet. It's $25 for a neat meal, a good meal. And the speaker that night will be
William
Moyes.
Moyers. And we have a silent auction.
Yep.
And God, you get some really good deals cheap at that.
And this is the son of the CBS news anchor.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is he clean and sober? Is that why
the father?
Yeah, no.
The kid. He's not a kid. He's in his 50s, I think. Yes, he has a story that is really neat to listen to. I mean, he was down in the depths.
Yeah.
And came from a really good family, and it's just he'll tell a story. It'll be good.
Good. Yeah, looking forward to it. Lance, will you be there?
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't know if you had to work that night. Lance is a unit clerk for Powell, and what that means is he's the first friendly face you see when you step off the elevator, and he gets the process started. What's that feel like to bring somebody into the system that is just so broken?
It feels good because I've come to the realization that they come there on their own, for the most part. When I offer them that friendly smile and a handshake, and let them know that they're not alone, their eyes, you kind of see a light in their eyes, and it brings a small smile to their face. Some people it does, some people it doesn't. Some people are just really confused, and it's our job to try to help them not feel confused.
Yeah, Lance is one of the examples of what I call the brave ones. The brave ones are the ones that after they've gotten clean and sober, to make sure that they stay clean and sober, they decide to help people who are trying to get clean and sober. And that there's no higher level of accountability than the smart ones, the brave ones. So Lance is there every day helping you, helping his friends, helping the people at Powell, help your friends and your relatives get clean and sober, because that helps you stay clean and sober.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Nothing better than to work with somebody that you were once like.
Absolutely. I mean, in my recovery now, I have 5 or 6 sponsees. And the first thing I ask them is, are you willing to take suggestion without question? And a couple of them have looked at me real funny and scratched their head and like, what's that mean? And it means do what I ask you to do, because it worked for me as it did for others long before me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you'll hear Lance as we talk along. He's got a lot of the phrases. What was the one you said a little bit ago that was so good? You said so many. We'll figure it out. We'll hit it. All right, and you've been sober 11 years, almost 8 months. It'll be 8 months on the 7th of April.
Yes, sir.
Which is a week from this Wednesday. Or a week from this Wednesday.
11th, the 7th of August.
7th of August. Oh, I'm sorry.
2003.
Yeah, you'll have 11 years, 8 months.
I'll have 12 years.
In August.
In August.
Congratulations. That's right. Okay. So where are you from? Where's home?
Des Moines.
Okay.
I grew up on the east side,
Okay.
where I'm still living at today.
Really?
Yeah.
Same house?
No.
But
no.
same neighborhood.
Same neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a few blocks away.
Was there alcohol and drugs in your family?
Oh, yeah. My family was devout drinkers. I don't want to say they're alcoholics because that's generalizing and labeling.
Yeah.
And, I can't do that.
But they had the same lifestyle you did.
Yeah.
And do you remember, Lila, you want to bet on the answer on this one? Do you remember how old you were when you took your first sip of alcohol?
Probably about 6.
Oh, my God. That's for Lila. Usually people say the most common answer is 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you were 6.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, because my parents had a party, and I was one of the kids that would walk around and sample everybody's drink. And, hey, can I taste that? Can I see what that tastes like?
And, of course, everybody said yes because they
Yeah.
thought it was so cute that
And then,
little Lance was running around drinking.
And then the next thing I know, Mom tells me I was laid passed out on the couch.
And she probably laughed about it.
I don't know if she laughed about it, but
Yeah. Did you continue to drink after that, or was there a period there where you didn't drink?
no, not really. I mean, that kind of shot me for drinking. I didn't really want to do that again. And then my actual real heavy, hard using didn't start until about 11, when I was 11.
And what happened then?
Were you like in 7th grade?
Yeah, 7th or 8th grade.
yeah.
And I used to escape because Dad would come home and he might be intoxicated and I might suffer the wrath. You know, he was kind of abusive.
Verbally and physically?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And So there were times where I didn't come home until I knew he was passed out late at night. And, I'd be out with my buddies and we may be drinking or.
At 11.
Yeah. Or
Did you ever tell your friends what was going on at home, or did they ever see what was going on?
some saw. I really didn't share any of my home life with them.
Yeah, I think that's common for a lot of young children. The ones I had in Al-Anon, they were embarrassed about what was going on. They didn't want other kids coming over to the house, and they definitely didn't want to talk about it. And when they come to Alateen, they just didn't want to talk.
Is your father still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't want to beat on him too bad.
No.
He did the best he could.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked about him about getting into the program?
Yeah, but he's almost 80 and set in his ways, and he's going to do what he wants to do.
At 80, he's still drinking that way.
He still drinks.
Okay.
Not like that. Not like he used to.
Yeah. All right. So 11 to August 7th, 2003. Is that fair to you? Drank that whole time? What was junior high and high school like?
Pretty normal until the 9th grade when I dropped out.
You dropped out of school at 9th grade.
In the 9th grade, yes, I did. And I continued to do whatever I wanted to do. My father had his own business at that time, and I went to work for him. Then I made a decision to go to a Job Corps, and I'd done some research that this Job Corps, that if I scored high enough on the GED test, I got an actual diploma.
Okay.
So when I was 20, I took that route and went to Job Corps.
All right. And you got your GED.
Got a high school diploma.
Good. Well, not a GED, but a high school diploma.
If you scored 40%, you got a GED. If you scored above 45%, you got high school diploma.
Okay, good.
And I scored a 78.6.
Well, you always knew you were smart.
Yeah.
You just didn't want to apply yourself.
I didn't think about it.
Yeah, didn't like school. So how did getting that high school diploma change your life?
I was able to get a job.
Okay.
I really didn't think about it, and I still haven't thought about that aspect of it because I was using. I really didn't care. The only thing that mattered to me is drinking and doing drugs.
Every day?
Every single day.
Drugs like pot?
Pot, whatever was available. My drug of choice was yes.
Yes?
Yes.
What's that?
All of it. Anything that came by.
Oh, okay.
The amount I did was all of it.
Me.
The amount I did was all of it.
All of it. Yeah. I've never heard that. That's good. My drug of choice was yes. I like that. Well, I don't like it, but I like it. Our guest today is Lance. He'll be sober 12 years coming up in August. And he works for Powell. He's the first friendly face you see when you get off the elevator, should you choose to go down there and be a part of that process. You know, I think it was interesting. I was in a meeting today with a guy, known this guy 30 years. And we had not talked since I got sober 5 years ago. And I said, Tom, you'd be surprised at how many people have alcohol and drug issues that you know, and they're clean and sober. And he started rattling off some first names of people in his life that have been through Powell. Powell's been around a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back how many years?
More than 40.
Yeah. And so hopefully the community's getting a little wiser about the number of people who have drug and alcohol issues and how it's not so hidden and horrible anymore.
Yeah.
I know it's anonymous, but it'd be not for those people that need to stay anonymous. That's fine. But there are some of us, like Lila, myself, Lance, who feel like we should be out bold and be there to tell you about it, because you need to know somebody who's been there, done that. When we come back, we continue down Lance's road and what finally drove him to drop the bottle and put down the drug. That's coming up next, live here on Restoring Hope Live on The Truth 99.3.
mother who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Hey, psst. Let me let you in on a little secret. You ready? Always try to do business with people, not places. Especially if you seek honest Christian business people. And when it comes to my car, I really need to trust who's working on it. Now, my family is so blessed. A few years ago, we found a family-owned automobile repair shop that operates as a Christian business also. Open, honest, reliable, trustworthy. It's AMCO on Hickman Road in front of Kmart. And it's a family-owned Christian operating business. This family treats your car as if it was their car. Everything from oil changes to transmission repair and everything in between. So the next time you feel the need to be at peace with your choice of who you can trust with your car, give AMCO on Hickman a chance to serve you. And tell them Max sent you.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
Welcome back, 21 minutes after the hour, Restoring Hope Live on this Monday afternoon. We thank you for being here. Tomorrow, Art Smith with Tom Coates and I as we talk politics. And then on Wednesday, we're going to make our our last attempt to try to get, or not Wednesday, I'm sorry. On Wednesday, we've got Pastor Todd Stiles from Family First Church in Ankeny. And next week, we're going to have, hopefully next Wednesday, we're going to have Max, the guy who is the lead in C.S. Lewis's play, The Screwtape Letters, which are coming to C.Y. Stevens Auditorium in Ames on the 14th of April. If you've read the book, you know what it's about. If you don't know what it's about, look it up, Google it. It is the world through the eyes of the accuser, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him. And it is a fabulous play. You'll laugh a little, but mostly you'll think. You'll think. And then you'll think some more, and you'll realize why we're so messed up as a society. How many times we choose to listen to the voice of the accuser rather than the voice of the God of our understanding. If we would just spend time listening to that and a relationship that we have with God rather than the relationship we have with the accuser, we wouldn't have so many issues in this world. But check it out. C.S. Lewis's Screwtape Letters coming up on April 14th at C.Y. Stevens Auditorium in Ames. All right, we have Lance with us today. He's a unit clerk at Powell, which means he's one of the first faces you see when you walk in. Been sober almost 12 years, and we should not just say sober. What do you say, clean and sober? Or
I say clean because it's alcohol and drugs. It's all inclusive.
Okay, all right. So 11, you dropped out of high school. Mm-hmm. And mom and dad had to sign something back then, or no? You just decided you weren't going anymore.
Nope.
You do that today, and your parents would be thrown in jail, I think.
Yeah. Today you would. We go out to catch a bus, and I wouldn't get on it.
Okay. And then what would you do all day? Screw around?
Whatever I wanted to do.
Use drugs? Drink alcohol?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you get the alcohol through your father or through your parents?
Years ago, there was a place out on Vandalia, which the building is not even there anymore. It was a little store, and there was an old man that ran it, and he would sell minors alcohol.
Okay.
And we would ride our motorcycles there and get it. Yeah.
What was the worst thing that happened to you during your teen years when you were drinking?
Or using?
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, did you get arrested?
No, I never got arrested until I became of age, and when I became of age is back then the legal drinking age is 18.
Yeah,
and I turned when they changed the drinking age to 19. I was 18 5 days before the law went into effect.
So you were grandfathered in, as they call it.
Pretty much.
All right. And then you started getting in trouble because you could go to bars and restaurants then and drink?
I'd go to bar. My biggest downfall was I didn't realize that you're not supposed to drive when you drink. And when things started going bad for me was when I was 18 and I had a car accident, and it nearly killed me.
Were you drunk?
Oh, yeah, I was pretty polluted.
Was anybody else in the car with you?
No, it was me by myself. I crashed a Grand Torino on I-235, took out 250 feet of guardrail and one of them big overhead signs.
Really? And so what happened to you then?
Well, I laid in a coma for 3 days in Iowa City.
Whoa.
With a brain skull fracture and a broken collarbone.
Wow. Did it have any permanent impact on you? You seem mentally fine now.
They said it might, but it might not. They didn't know, and not that I'm aware. I had no headaches.
But it didn't deter you from using after that, did it?
No.
Oh, I was going to ask if that was August 7th, 2003.
Yeah.
No, it didn't deter me from using or anything like that.
Isn't it amazing what we tell ourselves? I mean, after that, somehow you can rationalize in your head and say it was okay to still use and drink. It's just what this disease does. It's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I got two DUIs and didn't think I had a drinking problem.
Yeah.
But I quit driving and drinking.
Yeah.
I did do that. Back in, and I didn't quit drinking until 2010. But for 9 years, I never drank and drove. Not even a sip. No, zero tolerance. None.
Wow.
Always had drivers, always had, Anyway, I want to go back to you. So you get busted, you get thrown in jail, you get thrown in the, well, you probably didn't go to jail, but you went into the hospital. But what was you got a DUI?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Surprisingly enough, I didn't. I was in such crisis that they took me to Broadlands and then immediately took me by ambulance to Iowa City.
Okay.
So.
But that wasn't a wake-up call?
No, sure wasn't.
No. First thing you did when you got out of the hospital, had a beer?
About 3 days later, I started back to work again. I worked for a frame shop, a body shop, and started drinking again.
Didn't give it a second thought.
No.
Did anybody say anything to you like, Lance, what are you doing drinking again? God spared your life. You were barely alive.
No, they kept a close eye on me though.
Okay.
They did keep a close eye on me.
They meaning
my friends, my family.
Okay. What'd your dad say about that whole thing?
Told me I was stupid.
Okay. Which was probably a lot of what he told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lance is our guest. He's a unit clerk at Powell, been sober almost 12 years. Lila is here, of course. soon to be a grandmother for the second time.
Yeah.
They're just popping them kids out there. What are they going to have?
Congratulations.
Football team?
Yeah, thanks. No, they're only going to have 2.
Do they know if it's a boy or girl?
No, but they did hear the heartbeat this morning.
Good.
Yeah.
What are you hoping for?
I don't care. A healthy baby.
Would they prefer a boy, so they have a boy and a girl?
I don't think they care.
Don't think care? Okay. Robert, how are you? How are the horses?
They're doing well. We have a pony now.
You have a pony?
Yeah.
You had a baby too. Is that what you mean? You had a colt?
No,
Or you bought a pony?
it's a pony.
It's a pony.
A pony isn't a baby horse.
No,
Oh, it's not?
No.
it's a full-size pony.
Half a horse.
It's for
I
young-
thought a pony was a young horse.
No.
A pony's a little horse.
Yep. And it's for like this young kids.
Yeah. What's the name of the pony?
It's somebody from the Lion King. What was that thing with the
Zimba?
tusks?
The
Puma?
tusks.
Puma?
Puma. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know, but as a kid, those things were the most fun to ride at birthday parties.
Yeah.
Anyone that had them at birthday parties, everybody'd go to that party.
We want to do a birthday. We
Yeah.
want to have birthday parties for
Yeah.
kids.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This is Restoring Hope Live. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Ryan is producing, and if I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. Love this job. Couldn't do it without you. Lance is my guest. He's a unit clerk at Powell. Been sober almost 12 years. So you have the car accident. How old are you when this happens? 18?
I was 18 then.
And how old are you now?
I'll be 55 in June.
55. Okay, so we're talking 35, 36, 37 years ago today. But you stopped, but 12 years, so 37, so that's 25. So you drank for another 25 years after you had that car accident.
Yeah. In all told, I spent 32 years in active addiction.
Active addiction, okay. And tell me how the disease progressed for you after you had that car accident and then you went back out.
After I had that car accident, I would continue to go to bars and meet girls and wound up getting several OWIs. I got a third OWI and got sentenced to Fort Des Moines treatment. Spent almost a year in there.
Wow.
Back when Fort Des Moines still had their treatment facility. The night I got out, I went to the stock car races and wound up drunk. It just wasn't enough, you know. And then 6 months later, I wound up getting a fourth OWI, which they called it a second, third, because it had been so far since away from my first one. And I was on parole for my first third, and they wound up giving me a parole violation. And they sent me to Oakdale. And when they sent me to Oakdale, I was there 42 days, and then they wound up sending me to Fort Madison. And when I found out I was going to Fort Madison, my heart dropped to my knees.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped drinking.
So once you went to Fort Madison, you stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, you said your heart dropped because those are going to be some rough guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
my God, what have I done to myself now?
Yeah.
And
did you have drugs in the prison, though?
yeah, the funny thing about prison, there was more drugs floating around Farm 1 Fort Madison than there is on the east side of Des Moines. It's crazy.
So you didn't stop using drugs, though?
No.
And how long were you in Fort Madison?
I was there for 18 months.
Was it as bad as you thought?
Not really. The thing that I couldn't understand was on a third offense OWI is a five-year sentence, and usually they give you a parole after 6 months. But seeing as how I had a parole violation, I had to do a year. Mm-hmm. Then they took me before the parole board, and that process, you have a risk assessment, and if your risk assessment is so high, there's like 5 members of the parole board, and 3 come down to see you on your parole visit. I had to have 4 votes to get out. but only 3 come down. So they had to take me back, what's called taking me back for votes. And I waited another 6 months on that.
Wow. So you finally got out, you came home, and you swore what? You were never going to what again?
I was never going to drink again. I didn't think about the using.
Okay, so why was there a difference in your mind? You don't get OWIs on pot.
I never had a problem. My thought process was, pot was my problem. Pot or drugs didn't send me to prison. Drinking did, so I just quit drinking.
Okay. Would you say, did you work any program or anything to quit drinking?
No, I didn't.
Was there AA meetings in prison or something?
Yeah, there was. I forgot about that. There was some AA meetings that some guys brought in, some outside meetings into the Farm 1 where I was located at, and they were just some awesome guys. But I just didn't follow through when I got home. I guess maybe the excitement of being back home
But you went right out to reusing again.
Yeah.
As soon as you got home. Wow, you never stopped because there were drugs in prison.
Yeah.
Did you ever drink again?
No, I've yet to drink since '99.
Wow.
Did they ever do drug testing in prison?
Yes, but I was one of the ones that kind of slipped through the cracks.
Meaning you never got tested? Or
I never got tested. Never got tested while I was there.
All right, so in '99 he gets out of prison and he decides
Actually, I went in '99 and got out in '93 or
203.
No, I went in '89 and got out in '93.
Okay. So 93, he's been out of prison, but he still used drugs. But he's coming up on a sobriety date, which tells me he quit pretty soon. Let's hear about what happened to make him finally quit the drugs. That's Lance today live on RestoringHopeLive.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs,
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
22 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News at the top, and then Michael Mudloff with True Blue here on 99.3, The Truth. I kept saying last week I was going to share a funeral story, and we just ran out of time. So today, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you the funeral story of somebody that we lost in this program. And, of course, even though they're passed away, I think I should still keep their anonymity, shouldn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll just call him Bob. And but, Lance, I want you to stay around because you made a good comment. Ever since you got in this program, you've been stepping over bodies.
Absolutely.
We bury way too many people in this program, don't we?
Yes, this disease does not discriminate. It don't care who you are.
Yeah. It'll kill you rich or poor or young or old or...
Just wants to isolate you and take you out.
Isolate you and take you out. That's what it does, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Whew, man, I got to tell you. All right. So what I want to do is I want to find out what happened to you. What was the thing that made you finally quit everything?
Well, I was still out there using and thought I was having a good time, and because I'd been to prison before and I'd gotten a possession charge, I got a second possession charge, and they wanted to send me back to prison for 2 years.
Okay.
And I was offered a program called drug court.
Okay.
I went into drug court, and the judge I had was the hardest person that I know, and they forced me to do some things, start going to 12-step meetings, getting that sponsor, working the steps and applying them in my life. I spent 22 months in drug court in a...
Now you're saying drug court.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it does wonders. Absolute wonders.
We still have it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Every Friday morning at 8:15 in the Polk County Courthouse.
Okay.
On the third floor.
Okay.
Anybody can come in and sit in and listen, and it's just they get into people's lives and make them accountable.
And if you mess up,
you go to jail.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Is it like being on probation?
It is intensive probation.
Intensive.
But they know
intensive.
every move you're making, and you have to be accountable. That's the part I like. I've seen them turn just hardcore people that couldn't get it, kind of where you were, that couldn't get it. I've seen them turn their lives around, and it's just amazing.
Alcohol or just drugs?
Both.
Both. Okay. And that's usually someone who's gotten in trouble, and then they have a lawyer who says, hey, he'll go to drug court, and then you keep him out of jail for a while. Is that the plan?
Yeah, kind of. Well, they've gotten in a lot of trouble, and it's kind of like this is the last thing as far as...
Before we send you to prison.
The way it worked for me, Mac, was I'm sitting in the Polk County Jail, and this probation officer comes to interview me for drug court and asked me why I want drug court, why I want to change my life, and I was just totally honest with him. By that time, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he smiled, and I just love the guy to death today, but I really absolutely could not stand him then. He says, it's not going to work for you.
Really?
Yeah. And at that time, I thought, well, I wasn't accepted. And 3 days later, they turned me loose and said, show up for court on Friday at 8 o'clock.
And you did?
And I did.
And you got a sponsor?
I got a sponsor.
But court-ordered sponsor?
Yeah, but I had to find the sponsor that I could click with. And he's passed away now. He passed away when I was about 6 years clean.
Okay.
But he was a former gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps.
Oh.
He was no nonsense. And he was in the recon unit and done a tour of duty in Nam. I wanted somebody tough.
And it sounds like you got it.
and I got it. I got exactly what I asked for.
Was he in alcohol and drugs, or just drugs, or didn't matter?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah. There's that answer again. All right. And so, what was his first name?
George.
George. And what did he teach you?
He taught me how to live.
Okay.
He taught me how to work the program, because working my program got me into jails, institutions, and near death many times.
Yeah.
How to take instruction, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to put your big
surrendering.
boy pants.
He's the one that taught me take suggestion without question.
Take
suggestion without questions.
I heard you say that earlier. I like that phrase. And so you did.
I did.
What were some of the rules of being his sponsoree? Did you have to talk to him every day?
Call him every day or every other day. Of course, that wasn't a problem because we clicked immediately. And every meeting, I was required to go to a meeting every other day through drug court. But I went to the judge that I had in drug court, God bless his soul, I just love him to death. And I just visited with him shortly before I came here. Judge Rosenberg. He sentenced me, he court-ordered me to do 90 meetings in 90 days. And a year to a year and a half later, I'm still doing a meeting a day. Sometimes two.
Yeah.
And now, even with this much clean time, I'm still doing 5, 6, sometimes 7 a week.
Yeah.
And the sponsor I have now and my former sponsor, both have told me, 3 to maintain, 4 to grow a week. So I want to keep growing.
I have 8 to 10 recovery related meetings or appointments every week.
Awesome.
And I just don't want to do any less. I mean, I could miss one here and there. For some reason, I take Fridays off because I've got the grandkids on Friday night. Otherwise, I'd be at your meeting on Friday. Then I'd be up at 10 probably. But I don't, do I go to the meetings to stay sober? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never gone 3 days without a meeting. So I don't know if it's keeping me sober.
It keeps your head in the right place, thinking of recovery, though.
Yeah.
When you don't go, your brain will go back to the way it used to think and start this stinking thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, I can, if I go, like I've been sober 29 years, and I go to 3 meetings a week. And if I don't go to that many, I can get right back to the way I used to think immediately.
But you do aftercare also. So you're in more than 3 meetings a week.
Well, 3 12-step meetings.
That are for you.
Yeah. I mean, plus I'm a counselor, so I'm around it all the time.
Yeah.
You
just started being around it all the time a few years ago, though.
5 years ago.
How has life changed for you since then to now, as far as your sobriety goes?
It opened my eyes on how bad this could really be.
Okay. You know what you saved yourself from.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
See, before I came to work for Powell, I worked for another treatment center between 2006 and 2009, and I stopped going to meetings completely.
Yeah.
I didn't think I needed to because I was around it all the time, and I was only fooling myself because it wasn't long before that stinking thinking come back, the stupid thinking, the acting squirrely, the doing stupid things. And it all just came back, and then I got back into the recovery. I never used, and that's the thing. It tells me that the disease is with me. It doesn't matter whether you pick up. Relapse is not actual using. It's the thought process that gets me.
Yeah.
There are a lot of counselors that don't go to meetings, which has always kind of angered me. But I know. I did part of my internship at Betty Ford, and those counselors were not allowed to go to meetings in the Palm Springs area. They had to go at least 30 miles out so that no one that went to Betty Ford would see them at meetings.
Wow. All right, Lance is my guest. Bob Monstred, who's been awful quiet today, is here along with Lila. Ryan's producing. When we come back, buried a guy, a sponsoree in this program a week ago, and I haven't talked about it on the radio, but I'm going to talk about it next because, as Lance says, we keep tripping over bodies in this program.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Restoring hope, open my heart to sing, taking the darkness inside, revealing your light, restoring hope.
10 minutes before 4 o'clock, and I'm going to give you the date. It's the 30th day of March in the Lord's year of 2015. The reason I give you the date is because I'm going to talk about an event that happened 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And I haven't talked about it on the radio. I thought I would talk about it, and then every day on the show I'd say, well, I'm going to talk about that today. And then by the end of the day, I was too emotional, or I just didn't want to go there. But Lila reminded me today that I hadn't talked about it, and so I'm going to try to talk about it. So I'm going to call this guy Bob, okay? Because even though he's passed away, I'm not. It's not my job to give up his anonymity. And if I told you his name, a lot of people would know him because he was fairly well known in our community. Born and raised here, and went to school here, and obviously died here at age 64. Bob was an active alcoholic all his life. Bob was in a situation where he worked for 29 of those years, his career, alcohol was a fingertip away. A lot of times in the same building that he worked in retail, and some of those retail sold alcohol. And if it wasn't selling alcohol, then it wasn't too far to get to the liquor store. And it's interesting because at Bob's funeral, every slide they showed was him fishing or hunting, had somebody in there with him that he loved and that loved him dearly, and there was usually a bottle or a can of beer or a glass of something. And when Bob started coming around, he started coming around like a lot of people do because he was bored. He had retired from his job after 29 years, had done very well successfully financially. I don't think Bob's kind of like me. Bob didn't dress very well. I don't know if you know this, but I don't dress very well. I'm usually
you wear the same thing every day.
Yeah, well, it's not the same thing.
They're clean.
Yeah, they're clean. I wear a black shirt and black shorts and a pair of dress shoes. That's just what I'm comfortable in. Although this weekend for Easter, I'm going to be at every Easter service at Hope because I'm doing something, and so you'll actually see me in a double-breasted coat with long pants.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't know Bob was very, very successful. His retirement was into seven figures, and he had done very well.
I had no idea until after his funeral.
Yeah. In fact, he had just got his last payout on his retirement a couple weeks previous to that, And it was huge money. But Bob would come in, and Bob would come in because his wife started catching him drinking because he's home all day now. Mm-hmm. Wonderful wife and family, by the way. Absolutely wonderful. I mean, just salt of the earth. And they fought dads drinking their whole life. I sat down with those kids, and it was story after story about the trials and tribulations they had. And I think one of the reasons that God probably made sure I went to that funeral that day was so I could look at each one of those kids and that wife and say, you did everything you could, which I think is the most important thing, right, Lance? To look at somebody who's lost a loved one and look at that, especially a kid or a spouse, and say, you did it all. There's nothing more you could have done.
Absolutely.
But it was pretty obvious that when Bob started coming to meetings that Bob was still drinking. And that's okay, by the way. For those of you that don't know the rules, there's only one requirement for membership in a 12-step program, and that's the desire to stop drinking. The desire to stop drinking. You can be drinking and still come to a 12-step meeting. Are you kidding me? You're better than halfway there. We'll take you. At least you're learning it. You're listening to it. You're around other sober people. Maybe you're applying it, maybe you're not. But you're around it. And Bob would come to meetings, and it was pretty clear to everybody around that Bob, not only through the smell, but through the actions, that he was drinking. Probably at that moment. Probably in his coffee cup, for all we knew. And Bob got into a little trouble here and there, and Bob, for some reason, liked me. I don't know why. Something to do with church, I think. And so I asked him to start sitting by me, and he did. And he'd talk in the meetings as if I was his sponsor. And it wasn't really until the last probably month before he died, or 2 months before he died, that I was actually sponsoring him. And one day, about 2 months ago, somebody after a meeting, one of the guys challenged him that he was drinking. And, of course, what do we do when we're accused of drinking, when we're drinking?
No, not me.
Yeah, not me. No, not me. And then he said, you're playing God, and you're judging me. And one of the guys said, well, do you have a sponsor? And he I'll never forget this, Lila. He turned around and looked at me and said, will you sponsor me? I didn't want to sponsor him, but I said yes. And I think that was a God thing, because I didn't want to do it. It's kind of like you want to go right, but you turn left. Mm-hmm. And so Bob and I sat down, and we talked about the requirements of you being a sponsoree under me. And number 1 is you don't lie. Number 2 is similar. You don't lie. And number 3 is a little harder. You don't lie. That's all I care about. I'm different than some.
All the truth all the time.
Yeah. Some people have different, you got to call me every day. You got to go to one meeting a week with me. I just don't lie to me.
Yeah, but but they could tell the truth, but it's usually after the fact.
Right, that's true. Well, 5 weeks ago before he died, so this is about 7 weeks ago, after a Monday meeting, one of the guys in the meeting walked up and said, Bob, I know you're drunk, and you're drunk every time you come here. And hold on, stop, because he started, pushing back, Lance. He said, I don't care that you're drunk. Here's what I care about. You're going to get in that truck of yours, and you're going to drive down the same road that my wife and daughter are driving down. And he said, I can't have that. And so he said, if you get in that truck again, I'm going to call the cops. And my sponsor's right here, and he doesn't think I'm drunk. And I said, Bob, come on. What's the rule? I'm not lying. And then a third guy in the meeting, God bless him, one of the old timers, been around forever, said, you can't fool us. We've been doing this 3 decades. Mm-hmm. You can't fool us. And he said,
it's funny because that's what we do.
Yeah. And he said, well, how can I prove to you I'm not drinking? Well, I have a portable breathalyzer. And so I said, out in my car, I have a private breathalyzer, a portable breathalyzer, and you take the breathalyzer, and I'll stand up in front of every one of these guys and say, you're all wrong. You're not drinking. Well, he walked out of the meeting in a storm. And for the next week or so, he kept texting me. I'd text him every morning, if you haven't drank today, here's where the noon meeting is. And I'd look up the meetings. And he'd come back and he'd accuse me of playing God and all this stuff. And finally one day he said, I'm not talking to you anymore. I've been sober, I've been working hard, and I don't deserve to be treated like this. And a couple days before St. Patty's Day, his organs shut down. And he died of a lot of things, but one of them was a broken heart. One of them was alcohol poisoning. The other one is just body shutting down. And I'll never forget Bob, because I don't feel guilty. You know, we're trained. I don't feel guilty because he did that. But I'll never forget him because, as you said, it was just one more body that I'll be tripping over for the rest of my life in this program. And so what do we learn from situations like Bob? Well, we learned that the family did everything they could. We learned that alcoholics lie. And we also learned that if you drink, you'll die. And so today, at the end of this Restoring Hope Live program, remember, if you drink and you continue to drink and use, you're going to die. Don't die. Forgive yourself, just as you'll be forgiven by your Almighty Father. We'll see you next week, live here at RestoringHopeLive.com.
Restoring hope.